What's up, guys? Matt from Rave Takes here. This is going to be my first reaction video. I'm going to be reacting to highlights on this channel pretty frequently. Um, and I'm starting with highlights that I would prefer to never see again, frankly. But they are the highlights of the Ravens-Bills AFC Divisional round game in Buffalo that sadly saw the Ravens blowing yet another playoff game that they should have won. I know if any Bills fans are watching this, that they're gonna think a better team won the game and all that. And maybe the better team did win the game, but I just remember vividly watching that game and walking away from that game thinking, well, the Ravens lost yet another playoff game that was just sitting right there for them to win, and they just didn't win it. That has just become, unfortunately, the MO of this Ravens team over the last several years. The Lamar Jackson, John Harbaugh era has become just a litany of mistakes in the playoffs that cost them the game. I mean, the popular thing to say about the Ravens is that they're their own worst enemy. I think it was Bill Belichick who said that the only team that can beat the Ravens is the Ravens, or something to that effect. I think there's a lot of truth to that. It is a cliche about this team at this point, but having watched every snap of Ravens football for a long, long time, it is wild how this team seems to just shoot itself in the foot with a shotgun in big moments in the playoffs, at least in the Lamar era. Ironically, before Lamar and the Flacco era, we seemed to make some crazy play. We would be the underdogs, and we would make crazy plays happen. We would find a way to win playoff games, and it's flipped in the Lamar era where we're often the favorites and we just find a way to lose. So we've gone from finding a way to win as underdogs as a franchise to consistently finding ways to lose as favorites, and we weren't favorites in this game. I'm going off memory here, but I'm almost positive the Bills were favored. They were home, and the Bills are a great team. Josh Allen is a great quarterback. I'm horrified of Josh Allen as a opposing fan. It's him and Burrow in some order for quarterbacks that scare me the most when I'm playing against them. With all due respect to Patrick Mahomes, I just think Burrow and Allen are the two quarterbacks that I just least want to see on the other side of the field when my team is playing them. But I think that's enough introduction to this calamity that I am not excited to watch. I don't know why I'm deciding to torture myself to start my reaction series this way, but let's go for it. And by the way, I have not watched any highlights of this game since it happened, so this is a genuine reaction to them. Right down the field on that first drive. Started this game so well. 3rd and 3. Look at the patience from Lamar. It's wild how because I know what happens in this game, a good thing happens and I'm reacting in like an upset way because it's just crazy that we didn't win. Allen's production with the wide receivers he has is pretty crazy. And then this is where Allen scares me the most. It's the third and fourth and short situations. He's just so unstoppable as a runner in short yardage. The first of two bad Lamar turnovers in this half. The story after the game was that Bateman ran the wrong route, but I mean, I just don't know. I don't know. I'm not a X's and O's not savant or anything, but I just don't know what route Bateman could have been running here that would make this pass a good one. I just terrible. And what's sick about that? What's sick about that is Lamar was so protective of the ball all season. I think he threw 4 interceptions the entire regular season, and he just throws an inexplicable pick in the first quarter of the biggest playoff game of his life. Well, maybe not of his life, AFC Championship game a couple years ago against the Chiefs, but just a horrible, horrible ball. And I don't know, maybe it was Bateman's fault. It's hard for me to say, but it, with my untrained, not a football player or coach's eye, as a fan, that looked like Lamar's fault to me, just being honest. So from what I remember, there wasn't a ton of Henry in this game. Justice Hill. I love Justice Hill. Justice Hill is one of my favorite Ravens in a long time. It's a guy that just busts his ass on every play. It's just a great role player, championship kind of player. Big 3rd and 9 conversion there to Anthony Miller. And by the way, excuses, but no Zay Flowers in this game, which is something that I think is going to get lost to history. But our wide receiver one, not in this game. Does it make a difference in the end? Who knows? But definitely impactful that we didn't have Zay for this game. Oh God, this play. See, it just looks like the most careless fumble in the history of fumbles. Like, great job to recover it here. And then he just like throws it away. Like, what is that? Love you, Lamar, but what is this? I guess it's freezing cold. It's snowy outside. Slipped out of his hand. Just every Lamar hater on earth was probably just laughing their tail off at that play. I mean, I'm sure. Just because it's this stuff does happen to Lamar in the playoffs. And again, he's been so good about turnovers all season. Threw like 40 plus touchdowns and had fewer than 5 interceptions. And he just has 2 inexplicable turnovers in the first half of this game. Tush push. Here's something I'm going to say that's going to probably make a lot of people angry. I think the tush push should be an illegal play. I don't think it should be in the game. It's probably a whole nother video. I won't go into, a whole deep thing as to why. I just don't think it's a football play. I saw a video with Mark Schlereth recently where he explained how there's rules for special teams against pushing other players into the line of scrimmage, and why would it be okay for the offense but not okay for special teams? I, I just I I just think I think it would be better for I think the games would be better even if they got rid of the tush push. I know offense is the thing everybody wants to see, but I think fourth downs having some stakes to them again would actually be more exciting. I mean, personally, throw me some hate in the comments if you disagree, but I just fourth and short now for the better offenses is not a stressful down. It's like an automatic get. I mean, I'd have to look up the numbers, but it's got to be 80+% success rate. Fourth and 1 or 2 yards for these better offenses: Eagles, Ravens, Bills, the teams that are good in short yardage, the teams that are good have good tush push, situations. The Ravens got pretty good with this even. And obviously, I'm happy with it when the Ravens use it to convert. We use tight ends to do it because we don't want to get Lamar hurt. But I just think the tush push should have been banned. I'm glad they were looking at it this offseason. I was praying that they were going to ban it. They didn't, whatever. But personally, I think it shouldn't be out of the league. I'm not even sure Allen needs to be pushed in short yardage. He's such a dangerous short yardage runner by himself. That's a late hit. I mean, it's not a big deal. A lot of quarterbacks going to get that call. Lamar's not going to. Not going to. What a gorgeous throw. Gorgeous throw. Just this beautiful play. Bateman down at the 1. Hang on a second. So they obviously cut out some plays here between that Bateman catch and this play, but I don't think we score here. Yeah, we don't. That's a huge. It is huge that we didn't score here. Score a touchdown. Because this ball, Bateman, he's down at like the 1.5 there. So it's you have the best short yardage running back in football. You have Lamar Jackson, one of the best running quarterbacks in football, and we didn't score a touchdown here. Huge factor in this game that we didn't convert that to 7. I had completely forgotten about that. Ray Davis is a good player. Bills fans should be excited about him. I'm sure they are. Good tackle by our Darius Washington. What a huge loss his injury what is going to be this season. I know our secondary is still good, but just really sad to lose him. Oh, God. I do remember this. I distinctly remember this. This is... Listen to Nance. Nance says it. It's a push-off. This is not defensive PI. That's just not defensive PI. Push off. Listen, do I think it was an egregious push off? No, I don't. It just should have been a no call. And look at what it does. So again, can we not to dwell on this, but it's third and 5. It's 3rd and 5, and they throw that very dubious defensive PI, puts them inside the 5. So it converts 4th and puts them inside the 5. And obviously they score here. So just we got to put a flag up here for the sequence of the last few minutes. Lamar throws an absolutely gorgeous pass to Bateman that is down at about the 1-yard line. The Ravens fail to punch that in. I cannot remember the sequence of plays that they called on 1st and 2nd down. I almost want to go look that up after this. But they don't punch that in. They settle for 3. And then on the way back down, and obviously it's right before half here. It's right before half. So, and on the Bills, ensuing possession, it's 3rd down and 8, I think it was. and if we get off the field or hold them to 3, it's we go into halftime with a 4-point deficit, and instead they get this, in my opinion, gift of a defensive PI that should have just been a no call. Just should have been a no call. Just a huge sequence in the game. Huge. So if the Ravens convert that touchdown on the 1, and or the refs keep that flag in their pocket on the ensuing possession, it just vastly changes the game. 3rd and 5, second half now. Oh God, Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews, obviously the guy everyone remembers from this game. The ironic thing is he actually had a pretty good game outside of the 2 horrific plays that he will have in this half. Henry. There's Romo calling Tucker the GOAT, obviously before all that stuff came out. I'm just going to stop here and say, for the record, thrilled that Tucker is off the team. Don't want to have to talk about Justin Tucker ever again. Hopefully the rookie turns out to be good. Tucker did a lot of great things for us as a Raven, but, I think it goes without saying that good that he's gone. His play had declined to a very large degree anyway, but given the off the field stuff, I'm just really glad the Ravens made the right decision and said, let's just pick a new kicker and move on from this. Another 3rd down conversion. What I've noticed in this game is both QBs just coming up huge on 3rd downs in this game. Except for here, obviously. Big stop. It's a huge stop because if the Bills put up points on that drive, it really becomes a hard deficit. Wow. Ooh, what a tackle by Hamlin there. I mean, he's gone. He is gone if Hamlin doesn't make that tackle. Excellent tackle from Damar Hamlin. Andrews. Andrews had a good game other than what we're going to see, obviously, in the rest of this highlight. Justice Hill, my boy. This is really the only drive where we utilize the run to punch it in down their throats. Touchdown. Good seal from Rosengarten. Yep. 2-point. We just don't get it. Another play that if it just goes in the different way, we just got tipped at the line. And obviously those 2 points we were going to need, later in the game. I had the pleasure of having James Cook on my fantasy team this past year. Fourth quarter. Ooh. Oh, look, there's Brandon Stevens, who I'm thrilled is off the team for this coming season. It's funny. If I remember right, Tyler Bass had a really tough end of his season, but of course he was money in this game against us in the weather. Oh, God. Oh, my God. So, in my opinion, That turnover by Andrews was worse than dropping the 2-point conversion. I hate to do it, but I had to dwell on this for a second. Great play by Lamar. I mean, just look what he's trying to do here. Just he's trying to deke 43. Just run north and south, I beg you. Note to Mark Andrews, you are one of the least agile people on the football field. Please run north and south when you catch the ball. You are not Zay Flowers. You are not any kind of receiver. You are not agile. Run north and south. Protect the football. Like, just a completely avoidable. I mean, if this was so, it's just what's so galling about the turnovers we had in this game. The Lamar pick was really bad. The fumble was even worse. This fumble is really bad. Just dumb mistakes. Not like a defender makes an unbelievable play on the ball. Not like, whatever. It just we just cough it up. Just really bad, really bad. Look at the situation here. That was on 2nd and 11. He catches this. We're into Bills territory right here. 8:43 to go in the game. We're down by 5. I think this turnover was the backbreaker. Not the Andrews drop in for the 2-point at the end of the game. This was worse. This is what I remember. I remember this more than the 2-point drop. Just terrible. Third turnover. It's a cliche, but if you lose a turnover battle in the playoffs, I'm almost certain you're going to lose. Wow, that's a man's run by James Cook. Oh, wow. What a stop. What a stop. I remember watching the game thrilled that the Ravens were ready for that. Because as Nance and Tony Romo were saying, it just seemed obvious that that was a keeper situation for Allen. This drive, I was so proud of Lamar for this drive. This should have been his shining moment in the playoffs. Bam. Tylan Wallace. I mean, he's throwing to Tylan Wallace, Anthony Miller in this game. No Zay. Here's Andrews. Another good catch from him. Is this the touchdown? I think it is. Look at this protection, great movement in the pocket. Bateman with the great catch Likely with the great catch. And now this is the play everybody remembers. And yeah, he should have caught this. He should have caught it. Definitely should have caught it. But I have to say, definitely should have caught it. And I'm sure any Bills fans watching this is thinking the same thing, and they're right. Minute 33 to go. Minute 33 to go. The Bills have 2 timeouts. So even if we get this, it's 27-27. This is an eternity for Josh Allen. An eternity. And in fact, he probably gets it into field goal range so quickly that he has to burn time. In the NFL these days, when you're facing elite QBs and it's the end of the game, this is way too much time. So yeah, I was upset he dropped it too. If we were going to have a chance to win the game, he had to catch it. But I actually think the odds were well over 50% that the Bills still win this game, even if Andrews catches that 2-point. So, and this is again why the Andrews fumble was just worse. It was just worse than this for me, because yeah, we had to have this, but we are not in this position at all, and we're not in a position where the minute 33 is a killer necessarily. If Andrews doesn't fumble that football, if we go down and score on that drive, which it felt like we were. I mean, Lamar was cooking in the second half of this game. He was cooking. And Mark Andrews just saw to it that it didn't matter. You know, frustrating. And that should do it. Yep. Victory formation. Bills are a great team. They're a worthy team. The Bills had every right to win the game. They played well enough, obviously played well enough to win. They won the game. But so there's I look at that game and I just see three things, three main reasons that the Ravens were not able to pull this off ultimately. The first is the sequence at the end of the first half. Well, excuse me, no, sorry, wrong. The first is the two Lamar turnovers in the first half. That puts us in a hole to begin with. So the Lamar interception, that, again, Bateman's fault, his fault, seems like his fault. And then the Lamar fumble, which was even worse. At midfield, they march right down and score after that, right? So the two Lamar turnovers is one. Two is the sequence at the end of the first half that just goes completely the Bills' way. Bateman catches the ball, long pass, down at the 1. We fail to put that in the end zone from the 1-yard line with Lamar and Henry on the team. That just seems inexplicable to me. But so we don't score on the 1. Well, we don't score a touchdown. And then on the ensuing drive for the Bills, they march down and score a touchdown, and they get a very fortunate defensive PI on the way. One that could have gone either way, should have gone the other way. They get that. Well, it shouldn't have gone the other way, but it should have been a no call, and they score on that. So that's the second thing, and then the third thing is the thing everybody remembers, which is Mark Andrews just completely, the fumble and the drop 2-point, just not clutch at all. And it's a shame. It's a shame. It's another great Ravens season that just goes down in flames in the playoffs, and it's hard. It gets harder and harder to accept. I mean, I'm hoping this is the year for us that we finally punch through. We're probably going to run into one of the great AFC quarterbacks along the way, whether it's Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, all three, some combination of that. We're going to be seeing at least one of those guys in the playoffs, and we've got to win, and we've got to make the big plays to win the game. There can't be any more of these ridiculous mistakes. We had every right. We had every ability to win this game. And without the turnovers, I just think we do. And if we can manage to do that, to play a better game in this year's playoffs, which we should make, barring a Lamar injury, you just got to get it done. I mean, the regular season for Ravens fans has almost become a formality. And I know that's a privileged thing to say. A lot of teams are just happy to make the playoffs. We're not one of those teams. We have way bigger goals than that, and we should. We have the 2-time MVP QB. We have one of the best rosters around him that we've ever had. We get Jair Alexander for $4.5 million. We get DeAndre Hopkins. We get rid of a couple guys that weren't really contributing anyway. If this isn't the year, I don't know what the year is going to be for Lamar. And I hate to put the stakes that high on the season because that's going to make the disappointment even harder to take or accept. But that's just where the team is. That's where we are as Ravens fans. I think most people know it. And hopefully I'm sure the Ravens players and coaches know it, and hopefully they can handle that pressure. This is a big season coming up here, a big one. We got Lamar extension is coming up. It's going to need to be signed soon. Not that we're not going to do that. We're obviously going to do that regardless of how the season plays out. But this is a crossroads season for the franchise. If everybody's healthy and we still don't pull this off, we have some playoff game where once again we fail to get the job done. I mean, it really is Super Bowl or bust for us this year. It really felt like last year Lamar was unstoppable last year. With all due respect to Bills fans, I think Lamar was MVP last year. I'm not mad Allen won it. Allen is amazing. Allen is incredible. Like I said earlier in this reaction, I think he is the most scary quarterback to play against, with the possible exception of Joe Burrow. And I just think we pissed away an epic Lamar season last year. and it wouldn't shock me if he's not quite as good this year. And, the window will close eventually. So we've got to get this done very soon. Anyway, that is my first reaction video. Thanks you guys for watching. I am still new to this, obviously, as you can see by my very basic and very amateur setup here. But I am just trying to get started. So if you do like my content, please like and subscribe. Anyway, this is Matt from Rave Takes. Thanks for watching.